Hello and welcome to NDTV. I'm Rohit Khilnani. Joining me is Anil Kapoor, who I believe is totally timeless. You pick a film from his earlier days and you pick a film like Jugjugg Jeeyo, now you get thoroughly entertained. Anil Kapoor, thank you for entertaining us for so many years.
Thank you so much, Rohit, for having me over here.
Anil, you know what makes an actor's career? One, to start with, it's the choices of movies. What is on your mind when you sit back and think, what are the kind of films I should do?
Actually, let me cut it because it's been 4 decades, more than 4 decades since I'm working. So the first decade was obviously because I couldn't make choices. You know, the filmmakers, wanted, I tried to get work and I got work. That includes directors like Bapu Saab, M.S. Satyu, Mani Ratnam. These are the directors initially I worked with. I did bit roles. There was Lake Tandon. And then the next decade, obviously, you start getting work and then get a kind of recognition. So Wo Saath Din happened, and which was, for me was very, very successful. The film and then of course the second decade, obviously, then you want to, make choices where you can, to a certain extent, say no, I want to do this kind of film, I want to do that kind of film, I want this director, and then but you want to become the biggest star also. So all these things are running in your mind. So you make those kind of choices. Right. As an actor, but more as a star also. Then the third decade, okay, now is now there is a little bit of, now you want to maintain yourself. Few films have done very well. Few films, to a certain extent, start not doing well, which we expected. Then you make those kind of choices where you feel, no, that has gone wrong. So let me do this. Let me now do films with certain directors who I've never worked with. So those kind of choices. Then the fourth decade happened. Fourth decade happened. Okay, now you feel, no, yeah, I think there is, certain kind of reinvention has to happen, which was always there.
Right.
And you have to re-strategize it. You have to rethink what kind of work you have to do. You start feeling the third decade only, then you make those kind of choices. I think the third decade I made those kind of choices, in a way, like BV number 1 Tal around. And then the fourth decade obviously is where I did films like Slumdog and Dil Dhadakne Do and Mubaraka and Welcome. Those kind of films I did, and which you were not exactly the leading man, but you have a
solid
character. So that's been, in a way, the kind of choices I made. So, now, obviously, this last year has been last two years has been pretty exciting for me because I did AK vs. AK,
yes,
which was a great experience working with Vikram Motwane and Anurag Kashyap. Then I've done Thar, which was produced by our company, and which I got an opportunity to work again with Harsh, which has been not only loved over here by the critiques, but all over the world, and internationally even more. And then Jugjugg Jeeyo happened again. The film's done very well in India, but extremely, extremely well internationally.
Right.
So, so it's been pretty good. A year and a half, 2 years.
Right.
The kind of choices I made. Yeah.
Right. Now, of course, there's a lot of experience and confidence. But if I take you back to your first film also, you all did it so well that I remember each line. There's a line, "Main akal ka kolu hu, ullu ka bhatta hu." You all said that line so convincingly that I still remember it after all these years. And at that time, what did you go through training for acting? What gave you the confidence to say these amazing things?
So I was always into prepping. Right. I was always into, because I'd done my course in acting with Taneja Saab, Professor Taneja. I wanted to go to the Pune Institute, but obviously I failed in the written examination. So he was doing his, obviously method acting and getting into the character improvisation, research, homework. So I did a lot for Wo Saath Din also. At that time, a dialect, like the dialects which were very, very popular those days were only the Bhojpuri dialect. Nobody had really done a Haryanvi or a Punjabi dialect. No leading man had done it. So I said, how do I make it different from all the other leading men? So then I worked on the Haryanvi Punjabi dialect for Wo Saath Din. There was quite a few of the people who really helped me. Gulzar Saab, Ranjit Kapoor. They were very, very I used to meet them and they helped me with the dialect. And then of course the music, I used to learn music.
Right.
I used to learn semi-classical singing. That also was very helpful for me to really look convincing playing the
harmonium.
Harmonium. So that's what it is. So I think my singing lessons and of course the dialect and all made the character quite still, when people watch it, it's one of their favorite films.
Wow, it is.
It's been now almost 40 years now.
Wow.
40 years, and this June is going to be, I think, next year is going to be 40 years since Wo Saat Din released, and the journey has been really wonderful.
What a journey! What a journey! And when every time you're doing movies, when you're sitting back at home, are you watching a lot of worldwide content?
Yes, I do.
And when
that.
you watch, do you watch as a viewer or do you learn from someone?
No, you see, what I do is when I get a certain kind of especially like when I was doing Thar. So when I was doing Thar, I was not only because I was acting, but I was in the film, but we were producing the film also. So there was not a single Western which was made since last 70, 80 years, from Sergio Leone times. And the films in childhood, I'd seen a few Western films. I again revisited all those films. So I do those kind of things where the kind of character I'm doing, the kind of film it is. So I revisit all the films which are made
in that
in that genre.
Wow.
And I try to watch it. Wow. So that's what I did when I was doing Thar. And for Jugjugg Jeeyo, obviously, I watched a lot of Jack Nicholson films.
Okay.
And so Jack Nicholson was kind of my inspiration when I did Jugjugg Jeeyo.
Amazing.
Yeah. A lot of scenes, I'm being very honest with you, were inspired by what he did in his films. Yeah.
No wonder it was so magical. And you've also had a lot of peaks. Suddenly there'll come a Nayak, then there'll come a Mr. India, then there'll come a Welcome, which people still love on TV and enjoy. Then there'll come a Jugjugg Jeeyo, which has a beautiful young star cast also. But you and Neetu ji also steal the show quite a bit. So one is, when y'all are making this, do you have an idea at the back of your mind? Ye to click hogi.
Jugjugg Jeeyo, I was very, very sure.
Confident.
As because the idea itself was very, which was quite, it just hits you. There's a, son who wants to, who's having issues with his wife and he wants to separate, and suddenly the father says, before listening to him, he says, I want to separate from your mother, my wife, And tu to idhar tak hi shadi shuda, main gale tak, that dialogue, I love that dialogue, main gale tak shadi shuda hu. So I am bored and I want to, go my way. I want to find love.
Right.
So I just found that idea fascinating. I said, this is the idea. It's going to, like for example, when I heard Total Dhamal also, it's a very mainstream film.
It is.
So when Indu narrated me the idea, I knew, this film is going to, do well. So when he narrated the character, the Gujarati dialect wasn't there. The Gujarati and the characterization was not so fleshed out. So then I sat with him. I said, if I can flesh it out and make it a little more, something which I've never done. I don't do it to
just do it.
Just do it, but I just do it so that people are watching me since so many years.
Right.
How do I make? When I go on the set, I should feel challenged.
Yeah.
So I said, I've never played a Gujarati. Let me play a Gujarati in this. So I tried to flesh it out and did that Total Dhamal. Obviously, you'll be wondering. So my family, people would say, I said, are you working with Total Dhamal? Yeah? You working as if you signed a Spielberg film. I said, no. I said, I just want to go and have fun. I said, when I go on the set, I don't want to look jaded and bored when I'm on the set. So I said, let me find something interesting in every role which I do. So that's what I try to do.
That's why imagine you take every project so as if it's a special project. That's why the results.
I just do it for fun. Really, honestly, it's not that. I have to enjoy myself on the set. So it's not that I take myself too seriously as an actor, or it's just go and have some fun. Yeah.
So you and Varun also had a lot of fun. Tell me about filming those scenes on the terrace when you all are drunk and he's coming to tell you about his divorce and you have something in plan and you just
see. That's the key. That's a key scene of the film. So we were very conscious. I was very conscious about it, and what I've come to know that I was working on my own, and even Varun was working on his own with his scene.
Okay.
And then we both joined. Then we both started working together. We came together, and then we started doing our readings. And then, of course, a day earlier, we went on the terrace and kind of choreographed the scene. This is and had a few readings and all. And next night we went and and cracked the scene. And it was one of those good nights where everything went right and the timing and everything came out well. And our, our chemistry really worked, Varun and myself. And sometimes very necessary, the actor you're working with, your chemistry has to work. And I think Varun and my chemistry really has worked in this film, and people have loved our scenes together.
People have. Tell me, how is Neetu ji as a co-star?
See, Neetu ji came into this picture at a very, very sensitive time where she just, we all had lost our beloved Rishi Kapoor and her husband. And of course, what was great about it was when she came on the set, she never made us feel that. So it was like a professional who comes in, we just started working, and she was very easygoing, very relaxed. And, it was like working with, any great co-star. So it was wonderful, and for me, it was very, very beneficial because here I was working with her for the first time. So completely selfishly for me, it was fantastic. I must say, she would say it otherwise, but I am looking completely, I said, look, here I am, because after a certain age it becomes more difficult for you to find the right co-stars to work with. Because everybody wants to work with a younger leading man. Anil ke saath nahi, there's a lot of girls, for the girlfriend role, everybody rejected to be my girlfriend. If I tell you the names, you'll be shocked.
Please.
And nobody wanted to be my girlfriend. They wanted to be, Ranbir Kapoor and Ranveer Singh's girlfriend. Who wants to be Anil Kapoor's girlfriend?
I'm sure we'll see that in the future.
ऐसे में picture release होने तो फिर सब बोलेंगे यार.
I know. Lastly, Dharma has made so many family films. You have made so many family films with other makers. How come this marriage didn't happen earlier? Because y'all are, if I see the poster, you fit perfect.
It's all in the universe. There are so many filmmakers I have never really worked with. Like Bansali I haven't worked with. Obviously, he had offered me his first film. So sometime it so happened that first film, when he offered me, I just felt that I'd just done a love story, and he wanted me to do Khamoshi, where again it was a love story. And then it was good in a way because Salman was a better choice for that film. But after that, there's no script which has come his way where he feels. So when he says, there's no script. So sometimes filmmakers like even Farhan, he's offered me one or two films, but there's nothing which is exciting, I've not worked with Karan as a director. I've not worked with Adi Chopra as a director. I haven't worked with, who are these, there's so many of these directors are there who I would love to work with. But there's never been any script which have come up. Or when they offered me the roles, few of them I just felt they're not good enough for me to collaborate with them.
But this collaboration, Anil, we are so glad it happened. I thoroughly enjoyed.
He as a producer. So I'm looking forward to, we were supposed to do Takht, which was, has been indefinitely postponed or shelved. I don't know what it is. But actually, in a way, I was supposed to do Takht. And then Jugjugg Jeeyo happened, where he produced. And I'm so happy that this is our first film. It's a family film. And I've been consistently quite successful in doing family films, and so has Karan been. And it was my commitment, and Karan's father and me always wanted to work together. And whenever I went on the set, I was stood in front of this photograph, took his blessings before I could do every shot.
Lovely. I watched this at the cast and crew. You were there, and I can't tell you, you thoroughly entertained us. I couldn't stop laughing for most of those scenes. So please continue to entertain us just the way you do.
Thank you very much, Gaurav.
Thank you.